Hello everyone, this is Rakkfalen and welcome to another blueprint video. As you can see, this one's a little bit different today. It's going to be a circuitry video instead of a trains video. Sort of. I mean, there might be a train here, but you know, that's just for fun. Today I am featuring the Marquee that I've put together, and I'll show you the circuitry of it first, and then I'll show you the different blueprints we've got put together. So up here you can see we've got a working test with Rakkfalen's awesome Marquee scrolling across it, and some of the letters are colored, and we'll go over how that works. So over here, you've got a constant combinator putting out a T signal of 1, and it goes into this decider combinator. This decider combinator is set to 500. You can change this if you want, and it'll change how fast the combinator repeats. So you see it counts up here, and then every time it hits 500, it goes back to 0. You'll see on the right side there in a moment. And this combinator is then fed into this arithmetic combinator, arithmetic, I can't say it, whatever you want to call it, the not decider combinator. This one I've got set to divide by 2. That decides how many columns each signal shows for. If you set this to 1, it's going to be 1 column wide, which looks a little funky for some of the letters, so I typically recommend leaving it on a 2. Unless you want the letters to be thicker, you can set it to 3 or 4, and the settings will get wider. If you go much more than 5, they start to overlap a little bit, so typically I'd leave it on 2, just so it makes these letters too wide, like you can see here. And then that signal goes into this decider combinator. So this decider combinator waits for T to be equal to 1. So every time this thing resets, it triggers this decider combinator to output everything 1 signal. So we've got this constant combinator putting in signals 1 through E, and those are going to be all 14 rows of lights. So starting from the bottom, row 1 is the very bottom row here, and row E is the very top row. So this decider combinator, or this constant combinator, puts that signal in here to the decider combinator. I've also got one over here that's putting the red color into the same one, and that gets fed into the red line, which goes up here to the lights. And so this says whenever Z equals 0, which is always because there's no Z in here, output everything, and it outputs to the lights, and then it also outputs to the next decider combinator with the same settings. So there's a 1 tick delay between this one, and that's how we get it to scroll across. You'll also see that this decider combinator outputs to this other not decider combinator, and this not decider takes just the T signal, multiplies it by 1, and outputs T, so that way we're passing just T along to the next signal. And then we'll get the different signals here that also get fed in the red line, and so on and so forth. As you can see, I've created some basic lettering, and I'll make all those available to you as well. We've got letters, numbers, colors, we've got a couple fun little arts here. Don't laugh at my pixel art. This is a logistics robot, and this is a construction robot, or it's supposed to be. Also got some basic punctuation in here, as well as some directional arrows and some mathematic shapes. So you're welcome to use all of these, and I will provide the blueprints for those in here. Just a quick demonstration. You start off with the Marquee, which is this one, and it'll already have the timer set up. You'll notice it doesn't have any of the constant combinators in here yet, and that's because you need to use them. So we've also got the Marquee extender. You can see with the power that the lights are 1 tile off from being powered, so that last unpowered row needs to overlap, which is how you get all of the circuitry to line up correctly and continue down. And then when you want to put your letters or numbers or whatever you're going to put in there, you take whatever you want to put in and you line it up with the first decider combinator, not the not decider, and you just drop it down. I recommend putting at least 1 space in between each letter or number, just so that they're not touching each other, because it starts to look a little weird if they're touching each other. You'll also see at the end that there are some colors, which will add in an additional row of combinators to set those particular ones to those colors. And that's pretty much it. I will provide you guys with all these blueprints so that you can have fun with making your own marquees. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again soon.